Hey, it's officially almost 3 o'clock.
Okay.
We are on our 301 agenda for the Committee on Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs. This hearing is being streamed live on YouTube. If there's any technical difficulties, we will post a notice as to when we will reconvene. We ask those who are testifying to please limit their testimony to 1 minute. We have 2 items on this agenda. That is, first up is Senate Bill 2671 relating to essential permitting positions. On our testifiers list, we have Mary Alice Evans or someone from the Office of Planning. Okay, remember, she has submitted commentary. We have Ann Lopez or someone from the AG's office that might be joining us via Zoom. Oh, or might be in person, even better.
Good afternoon, Chair Hawai'i, members of the committee, Deputy Attorney General Jonathan Tungpalan for the Department of the Attorney General. We stand on our written comments and are available for any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on 2671? If not, members, any questions for John? No. Okay, lucky John. We're going to move on to the second and last item on this agenda. That is Senate Bill 2902 relating to renewable energy. On our testifiers list, we have Michelangelo or someone from DCCA's Consumer Advocate.
Vice Chair, members, Mickey Knox for the Division of Consumer Advocacy. We'll stand our written testimony, but I just wanted to highlight our main concern is just that safety gets addressed. Available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Leah Laramie from Climate Change Mitigation Adaptation Commission.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Leah Laramie with the Climate Change Mitigation Adaptation Commission. We stand on our testimony and support and available for questions. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you, Laramie. John Itamura or someone from the PUC.
Aloha, Chair Wakai, Vice Chair Chang, and members of the Senate Committee on Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs. My name is Andrew Kabe. I'm a utility analyst of the Public Utilities Commission. I'm here on behalf of Chair Itamura and the Commission. I stand on the Commission's written testimony offering comment supporting the intent of SB 2902. I'm available for any questions the committee may have. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Okabe. On Zoom, we might have Beth Amaro from Hawai'i, KIUC.
Yes, hi, aloha, good afternoon. Beth Amaro from KIUC. We've provided comments on this measure. We stand on our testimony, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Beth. Also, Hannah Ellis from Bright Saver might be joining us via Zoom. IT, is Hannah there?
She is here, Chair.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Hannah.
Good afternoon, Chair Wakai and members of the committee. My name is Hannah Ellis, and I'm representing Bright Saver, a nonprofit dedicated to building plug-in solar in the United States, making solar ownership affordable and accessible to everyone. We stand with our written testimony and to strongly support SB 2902 to allow the people of Hawaii to access plug-in solar, saving money by reducing their electricity bills. This is a market-driven solution requiring no tax credits or public funds. It's just cutting red tape. A system installed according to safety standards included in this bill will not shock users, overload circuits, or backfeed during power outages. This is an equity issue. Plug-in solar provides meaningful access to renters and apartment residents who otherwise would not be able to access solar. The technology ensures that access to clean energy is not limited by housing status. In addition, plug-in solar reduces electricity bills and improves energy resilience. This is especially relevant given residents of Hawaii have the highest energy costs in the country. While we enthusiastically support SB 2902, we recommend 3 important revisions. 1, amend the bill to ensure plug-in solar is accessible across housing types, not just condominiums. 2, remove language that subjects the installation of plug-in solar devices to condominium association board approval. And 3, remove any requirement that customers register plug-in solar devices with an electric utility or the Public Utility Commission. We support SB 2902 with these revisions and urge the committee to issue a favorable report on SB 2902. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Also joining us via Zoom, Sherry Pollock from 350 Hawaii. Hi, Sherry.
Aloha, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Sherry Pollock, and I'm with 350 Hawaii. We support this measure. We have some amendments. Our members are very, very anxious to see plug-in solar systems allowed in our state. Electricity costs are high and costs are rising. These plug-in solar systems are game-changing. This is about cutting energy costs and reducing emissions by updating our rules to match the realities of new, safe, proven technologies. We want to ensure unnecessary barriers are avoided so everyone can greatly benefit from them and has access to installing them. For too long, the benefits of solar energy have been limited to homeowners with the capital to invest in rooftop projects. Plug-in solar reinvents this narrative, making it cheap, clean, a viable option for everyone, something sorely needed to make electricity more affordable. 4 million households in Germany already have plug-in solar systems. Utah unanimously passed a bill last year approving them. These systems are low cost and they work for renters, apartments, homes with unsuitable roofs. So many struggling to pay their electric bill could benefit from plug-in solar, but outdated regulations are preventing this. We strongly urge the committee to consider our suggested amendments aimed at keeping plug-in solar simple, accessible, and affordable for consumers. It would be an enormous tragedy to limit these cost-saving, pollution-reducing benefits to just those living under condo associations. Our written testimony provides more details on this. Plug-in solar is a wonderful solution. Let's make sure everyone can take advantage of it. Bottom line, sustainability should not be a privilege. Mahalo. Thanks so much for hearing this measure.
Thank you, Sherry. Is there anyone from Citizens Climate Lobby Hawaii? on
Not
Zoom?
available, unavailable on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, how about David Mulanix?
Also unavailable on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, and Douglas Hagan has indicated he might be in the room. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on 2902? Okay, members, any questions?
I got a question for
Yep.
PUC.
Senator Ducart.
Thanks, Chair. So I was reading the bill and, kind of curious that why, and of course Hannah talked so fast, I swear I heard something that I wanted, but she's a speed talker. But why should portable solar generators only be permitted in condominiums?
We didn't, sorry, to Senator Coit, we didn't say anything about whether it should be only permitted in condominiums. This is not our bill, but we do have some amendments we do want to put in the bill.
So would you consider like even for single family dwellings that, I mean, I know it's not your
yeah.
bill, but.
I
is that-
imagine that if you had enough space in a yard or in front of your driveway, you could have these, the portable solar units deployed there as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Sure, you're welcome. Any other questions? Mr. Okabe, you can see
Yes.
this because I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Yes, Chair.
Some of the folks who are testifying say that they don't think that there should be a requirement for registration with the utility or the PUC. Does that sound, is that a dangerous proposition, or is that something that's acceptable to you?
Well, it could be an issue. We're not only thinking about safety issues, when the grid goes down and the linemen have to work on the circuits that have these. If we were to somehow have this information about the number that are on that circuit, we could help prevent lineman injuries. And on top of that, there are other technical aspects of this. This could eat into some of the existing hosting capacity on each of the circuits. There's only a certain amount of load that can absorb other DER on the system. So if you take away that load, and I recognize that they'll claim this is kind of a conservation measure, but just be clear, that it could lead to other customers not being able to install rooftop solar.
Okay, so just being aware of how everything's got to be balanced. I mean, if people just do any kind and plug in how many outlets of solar into their outlets, it could be disruptive to the other
It
people.
could be disruptive. We haven't done any of the studies. It would be helpful if we did a docket on this and really kind of push that forward, but we're not suggesting that now here because we understand the importance of this measure to the committee and to the people that are pushing this measure as well. So If we had that ability, then sure, but, at least consider our amendments.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Members, for any further questions?
I got a question.
Of course.
I got a question for KIUC.
Thanks, Chair.
Yep. Beth, are you still there?
Yes, hello, hi.
Hi, Beth. I had a question. I was reading your testimony, and I noticed that you had highlighted, some of the restrictions as well as regarding trying to understand the full interconnection agreement. What would be the impacts to somebody like you guys that have a cooperative? If not interconnection, but portable generators were to hook up, and then what would be the responsibility on the cooperative's part? Or do you have an understanding, I should say, of what that is?
Well, yeah, no, not really. We, I guess our concern, if it's properly installed, it's a small enough size so that it's not impacting the meter or anything on the KIUC side of the meter, then it wouldn't be a problem. Although it would be, I think, helpful for everybody to know where these are installed. So it would be good to have some kind of a registry. I think the concern might be that, if they're not installed properly, or if more than one device is installed, there could be negative impacts, not just to the electrical circuitry of the home, but also could potentially impact the grid, if it's not installed properly. So that's kind of the main concern. And then, it would be very, even with a registry, we couldn't guarantee that everybody would tell us that they have one of these in their home, but it would be helpful to at least, have that so that we're aware of the majority of them that are set up.
Yeah, because I guess my curiosity more was like, so if I decided to put one in my home, would I need one insurance in case like I never hook them up correctly and I start on fire, and then I don't know, maybe it'll blow back to the utility, I get on solar system, but it just
Yeah, that would be,
Unknown.
it's a possibility. And then if you're causing damage to, outside of the home, maybe to neighboring homes, if there's an impact to the circuit that's feeding your neighborhood or your neighbors, it could impact other homes. So, it would seem as though if it's properly installed, it's of an appropriate size, that wouldn't happen. But again, we can't always expect that everybody will follow the guidelines, and that's the concern.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Oh, sure, you're welcome. Any further questions?
Yeah,
members?
Chair.
Yep, of course, Senator
So,
Favela.
we're talking about the portable. So some of these guys, I don't know if they
Is
do
this
it.
a question for Beth?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sorry, I'm sorry, Glenn.
Okay.
Yeah, so, sorry, Ben. For the portable generators, some of these guys get inverters on their meters that they can plug in their gasoline run generators for run their home by installing these inverters onto their existing meter thing. Wouldn't that be almost as similar to what they would do instead of using a gas generator? They would use a portable solar generator and hook it up the same way?
I think that would be very similar, and I think if it's done properly, by a licensed electrician and it's done properly and it's properly sized, it probably shouldn't have a problem. It's just that, there is the potential for individuals to try to do it on their own, or to try to, oversize, and that's where we might have problems.
Yeah, so the ones that is talking about the generators that is plugged into the inverter, you have to have a licensed electrician to do that. You cannot, as a homeowner, do it on your own. You have to get a license.
That it's a good question. I'm not sure, because I know people do have backup generators for, weather backup.
Yes.
If you know what you're doing, you're probably safe. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably maybe at risk.
Walk your
So
house.
it's good. It's good to at least be schooled on how to do it properly. Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Oh, you're welcome. Any further questions? If not, we're going to take a brief recess prior to take,
Hannah Ellis wanted to provide commentary on Zoom.
she already provided comments. So we're going to go into a brief recess prior to taking the vote. Thank you for your patience. We're back on the agenda at 3:01 for decision-making. On the first measure, Senate Bill 2671, relating to essential permitting positions. We like everything that this bill is espousing to do, which is to make government more efficient and reduce some of the red tape in the permitting process. So we'd like to move this measure on and just simply defect the date of this measure to April 19th, 2042. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for Senate Bill 2671 is to pass with amendments. Chair votes yes. Vice Chair, aye. Senator DeCoite.
Aye.
Senator Richards. Aye. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 2902 relating to renewable energy. This is to allow for what some are terming as balcony solar and getting more people activated to help provide renewable energy onto the grid. The recommendation is to take the PUC's two suggested amendments and to defect the date to April 19, 2042. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for Senate Bill 2902 is to pass with amendments, noting the presence of all members. Are there any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the recommendation is adopted.
Great, thank you for your patience, members. We're adjourned.